Chapter 1: The Arrival. Mark stood at the towering gates of the maximum security prison, his heart pounding in rhythm with the heavy clang of steel doors. Wrongfully convicted, he felt the weight of uncertainty pressing down on him as he crossed the threshold into a world that felt utterly foreign. Shadows loomed around him, cast by menacing figures, guards with sharp eyes and hardened inmates sizing him up. Memories of his former life flashed through his mind, a life filled with dreams and plans abruptly severed by a single moment of injustice. He clutched his diary, the only possession that felt like a tether to his true self. In this foreign land of concrete and despair, he penned his fears, a raw reflection of isolation and vulnerability. The smell of disinfectant, mixed with a pervasive sense of hopelessness, enveloped him. This was only the beginning, but deep down, Mark wondered if he could ever find a way out of this darkness. Chapter 2: Bonds of Steel. Rosa had always been a fighter, but behind bars the struggle took on a new dimension. As she navigated the prison environment, the shadows of her past addiction loomed large, yet she discovered a sense of belonging among fellow inmates. In the daily routines of prison life, moments of vulnerability transformed into unbreakable connections. Laughter echoed through the common areas, weaving a tapestry of trust between women who had once walked different paths. They shared whispered secrets during lights out and rallied around one another during bleak moments, creating a sisterhood that defied the cold steel walls surrounding them. Rosa found solace in these bonds, where friendship provided warmth in an otherwise harsh environment. With every shared story, they chipped away at each other's defenses, fostering an understanding that transcended their circumstances. In their unity, they began to redefine what survival meant, finding strength in each other's resilience within the prison's confines. Chapter 3: Elijah, an elder inmate with a weathered face and wise eyes, commands respect within the prison's concrete walls. Having spent decades cycling through the system, he has seen the good, the bad, and the desperate. In his diary, he recounts moments spent at the chessboard, guiding younger inmates not just through the game, but through life's tangled messes. The rhythmic clacking of chess pieces punctuates his tales of survival and resilience, revealing life lessons woven through years of hardship. As he shares the importance of hope and perspective, the atmosphere transforms. Inmates gather around, drawn to his stories like moths to a flame. Elijah teaches them that knowledge is power and that every setback can lead to growth. In this safe haven of wisdom, the seeds of mentorship take root, signaling a shift among the men and women in the yard, a glimmer of light in an otherwise daunting existence. Chapter 4: The Turning Point. As the sun rises over the prison yard, a collective tension fills the air. Inmates gather for the long-anticipated rehabilitation program. Mark, Rosa, and Elijah brace themselves, aware that this will be a turning point in their lives. Group therapy begins with tentative introductions, voices trembling as they share their stories, each one a raw wound still bleeding with regret. Mark reveals the nightmares of his wrongful conviction, while Rosa battles memories of her addiction's grip. Elijah listens intently, offering wisdom from decades of survival within these walls. Through tears and laughter, the atmosphere shifts. Vulnerability becomes a catalyst for connection. Tension transforms into catharsis as they confront their fears, hopes, and aspirations. The sound of chairs scraping against the floor punctuates their confessions, echoing the weight of their experiences. With each confession, a sense of healing begins to weave through the group, a reminder that redemption starts by facing the truth. Chapter 5: Artistic Expressions. In the dimly lit rec room, Mark, Rosa, and Elijah gather, their spirits ignited by a newfound desire to express themselves artistically. As they brainstorm ideas for a talent show, the air buzzes with excitement and nervous anticipation. Rosa shares her poetry, weaving poignant reflections on her struggles, while Mark strums a makeshift guitar, channeling his emotions into heartfelt melodies. Elijah, with his wisdom, encourages them to explore their stories authentically, reminding them that every verse and note holds the potential for healing. Amidst laughter and camaraderie, the sound of shuffling papers and scribbling pens fills the room as they prepare for their performances. These moments of creativity shift their focus away from confinement and towards hope, serving as a powerful reminder of their resilience. When the day of the talent show finally arrives, snippets of their performances echo through the prison, captivating fellow inmates and restoring a sense of dignity within the walls. Chapter 6. The Choices We Make. Tension fills the air as Mark, Rosa, and Elijah confront the weight of their decisions, each faced with crossroads that could define their futures. Inmates gather for a pivotal group session where the atmosphere is thick with unspoken fears and regrets. Mark reflects on the impulsive choices that led him to this place, his heart weighed down by guilt. Rosa wrestles with the pull of her past versus the desire for a different path, her voice trembling as she shares the pain of betrayal and longing. Elijah, seasoned and wise, urges the younger inmates to recognize the ripple effects of each choice they make. The sound of pens scratching against paper emphasizes their commitment to change. As the discussion deepens, moments of silence punctuate their conversations, underscoring the gravity of their revelations. The chapter closes with a haunting reminder: every choice can either entrap or liberate, shaping the course of their lives beyond bars. Chapter 7. Reflections on the Past. In a dimly lit corner of the common area, the atmosphere thickens as inmates gather for a reflective session led by Elijah. Each participant confronts the shadows of their past decisions, sharing haunting memories that have shaped them. Mark's voice quivers as he recounts the day he was wrongfully accused, the despair washing over him in waves. Rosa opens up about the destructive path of her addiction, tears glistening in her eyes as she seeks forgiveness from herself and others. Elijah, a steady presence, encourages vulnerability, reminding them that acknowledging past mistakes is the first step toward healing. The sound of deep breaths and soft murmurs fills the air, punctuated by moments of silence that speak volumes. As they share their regrets and hopes for the future, the weight of their collective journey begins to lift, replaced by a profound sense of camaraderie. Healing is not swift, but together they find strength in their shared vulnerability. Chapter 8. The Value of Hope. As the inmates gather in the common area, a palpable tension gives way to a sense of camaraderie. Hope emerges as a recurring theme in their conversations, revealing the power of supportive relationships formed behind bars. Rosa shares a poem expressing her dreams of reclaiming her life, her voice trembling yet bold, inspiring others to reveal their aspirations. Mark, initially skeptical, finds himself drawn into the warmth of their collective optimism. Elijah, the elder mentor, encourages them to visualize their futures, recounting his own journey of transformation. The soft rustle of paper and the faint sound of laughter punctuate their discussions, crafting an atmosphere of encouragement. They talk about small wins, a shared sense of becoming more than their pasts. In this intimate moment, the inmates realize that hope, once fleeting, has taken root among them, igniting a spark that could illuminate even the darkest corners of their lives. Chapter 9. The Outside World. As the sun filters through the high prison windows, Mark and his fellow inmates gather for a poignant discussion about life beyond bars. Voices filled with longing echo through the room as they share dreams of family reunions, lost friendships, and the mundane yet cherished aspects of life previously taken for granted. Rosa speaks tenderly of her daughter, whose laughter she yearns to hear again, while Elijah reflects on missed opportunities that haunt him. The stark contrast between the prison's concrete walls and their aspirations for freedom weighs heavily in the air. Each inmate contemplates the challenges ahead, reintegrating into a world that has moved on without them. Amidst the uncertainty, a flicker of hope ignites as they pledge to support one another in reclaiming their lives. In this moment of vulnerability, the prison walls feel a little less confining, as their shared dreams blur the boundaries of incarceration, igniting the belief in second chances. Chapter 10. The Ripple Effect. In this pivotal chapter, the interconnected stories of the inmates unfold, revealing how individual choices can create far-reaching consequences. Mark reflects on a moment when his decision to stand up for Rosa during a tense confrontation led to unexpected loyalty from others, symbolizing the fragile bonds formed within these walls. Meanwhile, Rosa grapples with guilt as she recalls a betrayal from her past that impacted her fellow inmates' lives, igniting discussions about trust and redemption. Elijah observes the evolving dynamics and shares stories of inmates whose paths intertwined in unforeseen ways, emphasizing the theme that one act can change the trajectory of many. The atmosphere is charged, punctuated by heartbeats and whispered confessions, creating a palpable tension. As the chapter closes, listeners are left to ponder the intricate web of relationships that bind these characters, reminding us that every choice carries weight, rippling through lives in ways we may not immediately see. Chapter 11. Confronting Fear. In this pivotal chapter, the inmates gather for an emotionally charged group session focused on confronting their greatest fears. Led by Elijah, the elder inmate, they delve deep into troubling memories that haunt them: fear of failure, rejection, and the past's unyielding grip. One by one, they share their stories, voices trembling with vulnerability yet laced with courage. Sounds of shuffling feet and soft coughs punctuate the air as the weight of their confessions hangs heavy. Rosa speaks of her addiction's overpowering grasp, while Mark reveals his dread of never being believed again. The atmosphere grows thick with empathy as bonds deepen, a palpable solidarity forming among them. As they face their fears together, the sound design swells, echoing heartbeats and whispers of encouragement that underscore the transformative power of vulnerability. This moment of collective confrontation marks a crucial step toward not just acceptance, but true liberation within the confines of their realities. Chapter 12. The Catalyst for Change. A transformative event shakes the prison. A sudden lockdown due to security concerns forces the inmates to confront not just their surroundings, but also their inner demons. The fear of uncertainty sparks deep conversations in the common room, revealing cracks beneath their hardened exteriors. Mark finds himself urging others to share their stories, leading an impromptu session where they discuss their regrets and aspirations. Elijah, wise and steady, emphasizes the importance of seizing this moment for personal growth. As inmates grapple with the gravity of their choices, a collective realization dawns. Prison may confine their bodies, but it cannot imprison their potential. The atmosphere is electric with urgency as they resolve to take charge of their rehabilitation, channeling their newfound commitment into action. Surrounded by the sounds of whispered hopes and murmurs of determination, they form a pact to embrace change, igniting a fire of resilience that will carry them forward. Chapter 13. Graduation Day. The atmosphere in the prison auditorium is electric with anticipation as inmates gather for the graduation ceremony of the rehabilitation program. Mark, Rosa, and Elijah stand shoulder to shoulder, their faces illuminated with a mix of pride and nervousness. As the program unfolds, each inmate takes a moment to share their journey, recounting the struggles and triumphs that led them here. The sound of applause, punctuated by cheers of encouragement, reverberates through the room, creating a sense of unity and hope. Mark speaks with a tremor in his voice, expressing gratitude for the friendships forged in the darkest of times. Rosa's tears flow freely as she acknowledges the power of vulnerability, while Elijah reflects on the importance of mentorship and resilience. The ceremony culminates in a heartfelt group chant, a declaration of their commitment to change. In that moment, with hands raised high, they embrace a shared vision for brighter futures, surrounded by the sound of possibility and newfound hope.